started on our Peace and Justice Commission meeting today, and I see we have some guests. All in favor? Do I need a motion to do this?
Yeah. So this is tied to the item, this is number 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have a presentation and then we'll come to the action item.
Yeah.
Buenas tardes, good afternoon. Es un motivo de alegría estar compartiendo con ustedes en esta ciudad.
What a joy to be with you and to be in your city.
Mi nombre es Víctor Hugo Tejada.
My name is Víctor Hugo Tejada.
Soy profesor.
Más próximo.
I am a teacher.
Yeah, and Rita, you have to put your earphones up. Put your earphones up.
Let's see if this works.
Soy profesor en el área de finanzas allá en un colegio en Honduras.
I am a teacher of finances in Honduras.
Y hace 15 meses comencé mi función como alcalde de la ciudad de La Vega, Santa Bárbara.
And 15 months ago, I became the mayor of the city of Santa Bárbara, of Las Vegas, Santa Bárbara.
Fui electo con la mayoría de los votos de toda la ciudad.
I was overwhelmingly elected, by the population.
Las Vegas es una ciudad en el occidente de Honduras.
Las Vegas is a city in the northwest of the country.
Tiene una población que la conforman 7 aldeas y 84 caseríos.
We have 7, communities and 87, far away rural neighborhoods.
Y me da mucha satisfacción poder representar a más de 30,000 habitantes de esta ciudad.
And I'm very happy and honored to represent over 30,000 people.
Y tener esta oportunidad en la ciudad de Berkeley que me permita la posibilidad de hermanizar ambas ciudades.
And exploring the sister relationship with the city of Berkeley gives me, a lot of joy.
Llegué a la ciudad el 22 de abril.
I arrived on the 22nd of April.
Y han sido unos días maravillosos conociendo los diferentes institutos y las universidades junto a mi hija.
I have been visiting, the different schools, the university, together with my daughter.
Estoy muy agradecido con Dios de que exista una gran posibilidad para que por primera vez Honduras tenga la posibilidad de hermanizar con una ciudad en este país.
And I'm thankful to God that this possibility of a sister relationship of a city in Honduras with your city is on the table.
Y confiando en Dios que programas de intercambio cultural, en educación, en salud, van a ser de beneficio mutuo para ambas ciudades.
And we would explore exchanges between citizens, students, from both cities to get to know each other.
Y bueno, para finalizar mi presentación, el objetivo de hermanizar las ciudades es buscar ese apoyo que necesitan miles de jóvenes en nuestra ciudad.
One of the goals of the sister relationship, will be to support especially the youth in Honduras.
Para que ellos también tengan el derecho a quedarse a vivir en nuestra ciudad y no emigrar hacia este país.
So they will have the right to stay and not being forced or pushed out to migrate.
Estamos haciendo enormes trabajos, esfuerzos como alcalde, pero necesitamos el apoyo de ciudades como esta.
We are doing our very best to attend these communities, but any help, will improve what we are already doing.
Somos una ciudad rica en cultura, en tradición.
We are a very rich city in culture, in traditions.
Y ya hemos hablado en institutos y universidades, y los jóvenes de aquí también están entusiasmados de esa posibilidad de visitar nuestra ciudad.
And as we spoke with your children and your youth, they were also very enthusiastic about this possibility.
Agradecer el tiempo que han dispuesto para dedicar a este proceso de hermanización.
So we want to thank you for the time that you have invested in exploring this possibility.
y esperando en un futuro cercano también poderlos tener en nuestra ciudad en Honduras.
And we invite you to come and visit us in Honduras.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jose, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Jose Artiga. I'm the Executive Director of the Share Foundation. We have been at 2425 College Avenue on University Lutheran Chapel for many years, and we sponsor another sister relationship during Mayor Gas Newport during the war years in El Salvador. So we are very proud to be a member of this community in Berkeley.
My name is Vida, I'm a commissioner, and so I'm not familiar, I'm new to the commission, and I'm not familiar what the relationship is between a sister city and the commission, or the O city, if you may, between the two cities. So can you give me some idea of what the expectations are, or what the responsibilities are, or like that?
Tengo muchas expectativas.
Perhaps I have many expectations.
Una de ellas es, por ejemplo, que muchos jóvenes tengan la posibilidad que yo tuve en el año 2009
I wish that some of our youth have the possibility I had in 2009 of an exchange with the US.
cuando la universidad me promovió en un intercambio para estudiantes líderes de América Latina.
The university chose me as leaders of Latin America to come in an exchange here in the United States.
Pude conocer y aprender sobre la cultura, los derechos humanos y la democracia de este país.
And I was able to learn about the culture, about human rights, about life here in the United States.
Seguro que si no hubiese tenido esa oportunidad, no sería alcalde de mi ciudad, no hubiese terminado mi universidad.
Without that exchange, probably I would have not finished college and I would have not become a mayor.
Y con las situaciones difíciles que ha pasado Honduras después de un golpe de Estado, después de caravanas de inmigrantes.
And with the difficulties of Honduras, of a coup d'etat, of thousands of people joining caravans, migrating to the US,
Quizás estuviera en este país siendo parte de esa gran población que cruza el desierto arriesgando su vida.
I probably would have crossed the desert and be an undocumented refugee here in the United States.
Hoy me da la oportunidad Dios de dirigir los destinos de mi ciudad.
And now, thanks to God, I'm directing the city of Las Vegas.
Y sé que se puede tratar esa posibilidad de crear espacios para muchos jóvenes
And I wish to create spaces for young people like I was,
que tengan una oportunidad de ver la vida diferente
so they have an opportunity to see life in a different way,
y crearles condiciones favorables para que ellos no tomen esa ruta peligrosa.
and to create the conditions so they don't migrate, they choose to stay.
Soy profesor y estoy en mis primeros 15 meses de gobierno haciendo esfuerzos enormes por sacar la educación adelante en el municipio.
I'm a teacher, and one of our priority is to invest in education now as a mayor.
En materia de salud ya tenemos el modelo de salud gratuito las 24 horas del día y los 7 días de la semana.
We have also advanced on health, where we can provide 7 days a week free health to our citizens.
Pero como alcalde tengo una tarea pendiente que es generar las oportunidades de empleo para los jóvenes.
But as a mayor, we find a big task, which is to create employment for the young people.
He tenido 3 conversaciones con el alcalde de esta ciudad
I have had 3 meetings with the mayor of Berkeley,
y también siento que compartimos esa buena expectativa de apoyar a la juventud.
and I think that we share, the hope of helping young people.
Me quedan 3 años de gobierno y debo aprovecharlos dando pasos firmes en la búsqueda de mejores oportunidades en mi ciudad.
I have 3 more years to go as a mayor, and I want to invest and take advantage of every day to do our best.
Gracias.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So I remember, thanks to the Share Foundation, I believe, in 1986, this commission was created in large part for solidarity with Central America, in particular the struggle in El Salvador and to save the progressive regime in Nicaragua, and also Honduras and Guatemala. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We had just also, thanks to Share, had created the sister city relationship, as you mentioned.
I can't hear you if you're not talking into a mic.
How about if I look at you? Right here. Does this help? I'm looking right at you. Is that good?
I say I can't hear you unless you're talking into the mic.
So, as you mentioned, there was a sister city relationship with San Antonio Los Ranchos in El Salvador. And I remember coming to Berkeley. I didn't live here then, but there were marches regularly for El Salvador and against the arming of the Salvadoran regime. And one of the chants that was out in the streets, because San Antonio Los Ranchos itself was attacked by the government. And so we were all chanting, San Antonio Los Ranchos, we are with you. And so that was directly coming out of the sister city relationship that we had built. So my question to you is, we're a very progressive city, and we have a long memory. We remember what the U.S. government's political stance was, which was to support dictatorships wherever they could, and that the economic relations were oppressive between the U.S. and your country. I guess what I want to ask is, is there? And I appreciate what you said about you want to create the conditions so that people don't have to migrate. That's a really big flashpoint between the two countries. Is there anything that people in the United States can be doing, including people in Berkeley, to support that change on a political level, or on a policy level in the United States?
Durante años, el gobierno de Estados Unidos
For many years, the governments of the United States
han estado invirtiendo cantidades muy superiores en millones de dólares
they have invested millions of dollars
para tratar de detener toda la población que quiere venir a este país
to try to stop migration, stop people that are trying to come to this country.
en el Triángulo Norte, El Salvador, Guatemala y
El
Honduras.
Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras.
Consideramos que como alcaldes consideramos que parte de estos fondos deben ir directamente a esos pueblos para generar oportunidades de inversión.
Perhaps a portion of that investment that is invested in trying to stop should go to the communities to create better conditions.
He tenido la experiencia en el corto tiempo como alcalde
In a short period as a mayor, I have had the experience
que algunos fondos que llegan por parte de USAID
that some funds that arrive through the USAID
para apoyar a pequeños productores
to support small producers
hace que este tipo de población permanezca en sus comunidades.
brings an incentive for these communities to stay in their communities.
Hemos iniciado instalando granjas en las comunidades rurales.
With those funds, we have invested in small producers.
Hemos estado apoyando con semilla e insumos para los productores de verduras.
We have invested some of those funds in vegetable gardens.
Y eso nos genera a nosotros la sensación de que si hubiesen más fondos, más personas no emigrarían,
So
se quedarían.
those small experiences give us the hope that if more funds be invested that way, more people will decide to stay and not migrate.
En el ámbito educativo, el promover programas de intercambio de estudiantes y docentes
In the area of education, promotion of exchanges of students and teachers
generaría en todo el estudiantado ese deseo de permanecer en los centros educativos.
will generate, also the incentive of staying.
Hemos estado haciendo esfuerzos para que no haya deserción escolar,
We make a big effort so students stay and they don't drop.
llevando alimentación escolar, merienda escolar a los niños.
We have created, a lunch for the schools.
Hemos decidido pagar el 100% de las becas de transporte de todos los niños del municipio.
We pay 100% of the transportation so they can reach the school.
Pero hace falta algo más, y es ahí donde, al hermanizar las dos ciudades, queremos que sea el primer paso y luego elevarlo a que sea algo de todo el estado de California.
So perhaps at some point, this sister relationship can give the example to the state of California.
Can you what?
The state of California, so it's not only the city of Berkeley. Berkeley will be, giving an example.
Hoy tuve comunicación con la secretaria del Congreso de Honduras
I met today with the Secretary of the Congress of Honduras,
y el día jueves vamos a tener una reunión con la presidenta Xiomara Castro
and this Thursday is scheduled a meeting with the President of Honduras, Xiomara Castro,
para hablarle de esta extraordinaria idea que hoy se está tratando en este lugar.
to present her, what we are discussing here, to share with her, the sister relationship possibility.
Queremos que la hermanización también tenga el apoyo del Poder Ejecutivo y del Poder Legislativo de nuestro
We
país.
will invite the executive branch and the Congress of Honduras to give some support to this relationship.
Y que no solamente nosotros recibamos beneficio de parte de la ciudad de Berkeley,
And not only to see any benefit that we might receive from this relationship,
sino que también tengamos las condiciones para recibir comisiones de estudiantes y de docentes para esos procesos de intercambio cultural y educativo.
but also to have students and teachers to come and learn in Honduras.
Sabemos que podemos dar mucho en cuanto a lo cultural, también a los jóvenes de esta ciudad.
We believe we can contribute, to the education of the youth of your city.
Se me dio la oportunidad de impartir una pequeña charla de 50 minutos en el Instituto de Berkeley.
I was able to, do a class at Berkeley High with the students there.
Y pude experimentar cómo los estudiantes se interesaron en temas de geografía, de arte culinario,
And the students were very interested in the geography of Honduras, the
tradiciones, etnias.
the traditions, the native of Honduras.
Entonces eso es el punto importante de la hermanización, que todos nos beneficiamos.
The idea of the sister relationship is a two-way benefit.
I imagine after we, I imagine after we look at the resolution, which we're going to do next, we probably have more exchange, so will you be able to stay through that time? Huh? Yeah? All right. So, let's go on to discussion item 9, to pass a resolution to establish a sister city relationship with Australia. George, first of all, George, I want to let everyone know that George and Diane worked on this resolution. Oh, George did. And Diane with the mayor and Jose. So I'm going to ask George.
So what's a little unusual about this format is that we have a report first, and then we have the resolution. Usually we just have the resolution, and then the chair will go back and write the report afterwards. But what we found was that there was a great example, actually Stefan from the mayor's office found this, from the last time we did this, which is 6 or 7 years ago, which was about a sister city initiative with South Korea, the city of South Korea. And what we found out is the rule has been established. Number one, this commission is responsible in its charter for recommending sister city relationships. And secondly, that at some point along the way, the city had come up with 7 criteria. So that's here, the list of criteria on page 2 of this section. So I know people see this and hopefully had a chance to look at it. This will go to the council as a report. It's in good shape, I think, and that they can say, they can do a little check off and say, oh yeah, no cost, check. There's sufficient number of residents that are interested in this and will work on it, check. Because the way the sister city works is the city government the city council will say, yes, we like this idea, but only if there's a community group that's actually willing and able to do the work. Because the council's not going to do the work, they're not going to fund it, and the commission isn't going to sustain it. It has to be grassroots.
And how do we where does grassroots come from?
The grassroots in this case comes from the Share Foundation, which has said they're working with the church community, they're working with Central American community.
I read about the Share.
And all that. So that's great. So then the resolution in this case is very short. And you can see the 3 being resolved is establish a sister city relationship. Ask the Peace and Justice to work with the foundation and give them any assistance. But we're not going to drive it. We're going to advise it happen, and then we'll work together. And that's it.
I don't know how long I can keep using the excuse I'm new to this, but I'm still sort of new to this. So what does it mean that the commission, being us, will drive it and will deal with this? So what is, other than say this is a great idea, we'd love to be a sister city, what does it actually involve in terms of our commitment and our work?
I think that's exactly the right question, and now's the time to ask it. So we don't say drive, we say coordinate. So
Okay.
no, it says we will. The council asks the Peace and Justice Commission to coordinate with the Share Foundation to advance the sister relationship and look for ways to strengthen solidarity and friendship activities with the city of Las Vegas. I guess I can ask the director what he thinks, but in my mind, it's an open process. If, for example, they need any help with the city council, or we're a little more expert maybe on maneuvering within the city government.
Maybe we're not.
Well, compared to the Share Foundation, I mean, that's what we do and we've done for 37 years. So if we are, we can, we'll help with that. I have Stefan's phone number.
Yeah, we have access.
We have, I mean, that's our thing. I mean, we sort of are a bridge between the community and the government. And then I would just leave it open for Jose to say, if there's anything that you think would be helpful going forward.
George, can I just say one thing?
We're not the drivers.
Just for your information, the mayor Tejada spoke to the city council at the last meeting, and they listened very carefully, and they said, yes, go ahead and take this resolution to the Peace and Justice Committee. So they're aware of this. And also, in my press release, I learned that you talked to Mayor Aragon over 6 months ago. So it's not something quick in the thinking about the process. It's quick to us, but not to the city. Yeah.
Let me be very clear. I am not at all objecting. I'm asking a question because I think we need to be careful that we only commit ourselves to what we are realistically capable and willing to do. And that's my question. So to say, yes, let's be a sister city, boy, I'd love to go visit my sister city. What a lovely idea that is. I love the idea of exchanges. I love the idea. My question is, what can we realistically do so that we don't commit ourselves to more than we can do and disappoint them as well as ourselves? Thank you.
So perhaps, what we see is that we join forces, we put one more layer to this solidarity. Sometime, having the city as part of this, we will have more strength to reach out to people. So it's getting, in our language, getting your blessing. And then we'll invite you to do more. And we can, for instance, we wish to do, during the war, we did many concerts. We did a concert with Santana for the children of El Salvador. So we would like to bring the musicians of the Bay Area to do a concert once a year. And we will ask the city, can you help us maybe with a venue or with a permit to use a park? Or, and then inviting other people. Just the visit of the mayor, we invited Mayor Jesse this morning to come to Honduras. He said, I'm very busy, but I might have 3-4 days somewhere. Well, if he says yes, we are going to invite the staff from Kamala Harris, from the governor, and say, let us show you that what you, with all the respect, Kamala, are proposing for Central America is not going to reach the poor, and it's not going to stop anybody from migrating, because you are inviting the big companies to invest. We would like you to give us 1% of your budget to plant vegetable gardens. Just 1%. So the sister relationship for us give us strength to what we are already doing. So we can do better and give it another spark to this work. If Berkeley does it, maybe the city of Boston might want to join us, or the city of Houston might want to join us, because there are many Hondurans and Central Americans in those cities. So yes, it's a blessing, but it's a little bit more than that, because it says we are with you. The same thing that you did during the war. You were not sending money or anything like that, but you were saying you are not alone, and we support your demands. One last thing, at this very moment, the president of Honduras has said we wish to bring an international United Nations commission to bring to justice the people that are doing corruption and violations of human rights. We would like the city to say, yes, we support an international commission on human rights, and then we'll invite others to do the same.
How many Honduras are there roughly in California?
¿Cuántos hondureños habrían en California? Una pregunta.
It's really hard.
Desconozco.
There's no way of keeping records of it.
If you're not
But
speaking
this
into a
is-
microphone, I'm not hearing
Yeah,
what you
the
say.
question is, how many Hondurans might be in California? That's a very important question, because 40 years ago, you can count them, as very few. 40 years later, we can start, counting. And if El Salvador is a sample, El Salvador is moving to have, listen to this, 50% of the Salvadorians in the United States. The war ended, but people keep coming. Honduras have joined, Guatemalans are joining. So at some point we will have 30, 40, 50% of Central America here, because those policies are not working. Those policies are pushing our people out.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions? I want to just say, I know in the Japanese American community, I don't remember who we have a sister city with. Do you?
Sakai.
Yeah, so I'm always getting requests to put someone up, for some kind of exchange program. So, yeah, it's a person-to-person thing. And then I was a principal in Richmond, and we always have a tour with a city that's right across the bay from Havana, just like Richmond is every year. So we have like an education exchange. So a lot of that is not taking money from the, none of that takes money from the city, if I'm correct. But it is up to the sponsoring organization to really drive the community, organize the community. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something now that we're on the resolution?
Sure.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
Well, good evening. I'm Stefan Elkstrand. I'm the assistant to the mayor. And it was about 5-6 years ago where I was before the Peace and Justice Commission for the establishment of our sister city relationship in Gwangju, South Korea. Obviously over the last few years we've had a pandemic which really restricted a lot of our sister city programs, but now that the world is starting to return back to normal, I think now is a really good time to not only go back to our existing programs, but to expand it to new cities. And I think having a sister city in Honduras makes a lot of sense for many reasons. As you know, back in the 80s, Berkeley was very involved with social justice and human rights issues happening in Central America with the wars, and we actually had updated our sanctuary city policy to make to have refugees be welcome here in Berkeley. And 40 years later, we're still facing the same issues of migration. The UN had calculated that they expect around 400,000 people to try and go through the Darien Gap, in Panama, which is an extremely dangerous trek. And so I think establishing a sister city with Honduras, I think it will help with getting a better understanding of the culture, and ultimately with sister city relationships, a lot of it goes back to the youth and building exchange programs and cultural and educational exchanges. We have been working closely with the Share Foundation to do just that. And generally that's what sister city relations typically involve. It's us working with a community group, in this case the Share Foundation, to work on these programs. And just to kind of add a little bit more to the Peace and Justice Commission's involvement, there really isn't too much that you will need to do if this is established. The primary purpose of the Peace and Justice Commission in their involvement in sister city relationships is to pass a resolution and asking council to adopt that. Obviously what you do after that is all up to you. There is no, you're not forced to have to participate in this, but obviously as the resolution says, we hope that you will work with the Share Foundation as much or as little as you think is necessary. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer that. But I hope you'll support this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Can we move to pass the resolution?
Why don't you use the mic?
I move to pass the resolution as presented.
I second.
If there are no other questions,
I moved it and Vita second.
Thank you.
if there are no other questions or concerns, would you do a roll call on this, please?
Yes. So I'm taking roll in order for us to move forward with passing the resolution.
You need a microphone. You need a microphone.
Okay,
Coming.
We need another microphone.
they don't, I could barely get this.
At least it works.
At least it works, yeah.
One more.
I'm taking roll so that we may pass the resolution forward to the council for us to become a sister city with Las Vegas, Santa Barbara, and Honduras. I will start with Commissioner Morizawa,
Yes?
Commissioner Moran,
Abstain.
Commissioner Jacqueline,
Yes.
Commissioner Lippman,
Yes.
Commissioner Bond.
Yes.
This will move forward and be sent over to council.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience for all of my questions.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you for coming, it was a pleasure. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you, to have you speak to us, and to hear what your visit to the U.S. when you were young meant to you.